I love
fourth, fifth.
I love that HecZ is also coming at the coaches. How do we? I think HecZ actually would be a really good coach, because he would take the same with Karma, right? Karma calls it like it is. He tells them when they're playing ass and literally says it in that way. Some players didn't like the way how direct this guy was. But if you've been around Call of Duty, you know that Damon doesn't sugarcoat it for no one. I've never had a conversation with Damon where I felt as though he was trying to feed me bullshit. Even on his own gameplay back in the day. He's never ever sugarcoated shit.
I mean, yeah, bro.
The good news, Tom, like you hinted to, like there's likely gonna be some organizational switch at the end of this year, and hopefully the Ravens are just up out of here.
Yeah. I think the Ravens, Boston. I mean, I know there's just some teams that are trying to sell, and I know that there's people interested in buying.
We need some clean slates, bro.
100% we do.
We need some clean slates. What we needed was for this to never fucking happen. What we needed was for people to listen to the community when the community was telling them this is a horrible idea. What we needed was to let the OWL run for 2 more years before we as Call of Duty decided to fucking follow the same shit. But no, they wanted to get that cash in. You know what I'm saying?
And blow up LAG branding. Gotta get rid of that. Step number 1. Actually, before we even get to the new orgs, we got to do that first.
I'm tired of seeing that purple hoodie, bro.
As soon as they don't qualify for champs.
Yeah,
as soon as official,
100%. EWC, different roster.
Also, seriously, like if you are a graphic designer and you're the one that created that, I hope that you have proof that it is exactly what they asked you to do. Draw a hooded dude with 2 eyes, because holy fuck, I cannot believe that. And this is what I mean by people were so just fucking willy-nilly spending other people's money and not speaking up their fucking minds about how bad something was going because they were afraid to lose out on the job. Okay, they literally, how many layers of people did this logo go through? When I get a logo, when somebody gives me something, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options on one specific thing. And then we bring it down to 3, and then we bring it down to 1. The fact that it went just, this is what we have. So the amount, and you know, you want to know what's fucking crazy? Some people hired marketing agencies in the hundreds of thousands to develop these brands, to remember these to create these brands. And the amount of layers, and I mean people, right? It goes from conception, put on paper, put on presentation. That's 3 steps already, where this one guy said, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Here you go. And then it went to the creative director, whatever the fuck that means. The creative director of these orgs. And then they went to the team and the players, and none of the players said, yeah, that doesn't work, or it's not cool. None of them. Don't get me wrong. I personally am not the biggest fan of the Optic Chicago logo, but we were short on time, okay? And it looked almost as good as that one, okay? And then we combined the Huntsman green with the original OG green to make that one green. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's layers to this shit. Okay, special times the Huntsman's in OC. That's right, Joe. That's right, Joseph. This was written by AI.
Second to even have a chance. If
This guy copy pasted AI.
Optic losers
like ChatGPT.
in round 1,
I wonder what prompt he used to get this so he can copy paste it.
Rocker could just be 10.
I'm kidding. I'm talking shit. Okay, I'm being facetious. No beef, no beef.
I mean, I'm sure this will be in for like EWC. I mean, I feel like you can't put it in for champs, bro. I think it's unfair to the players if you add this for champs.
It would be unfair to the players if you put this in for champs. If some players got a chance to play it, some teams got a chance to play it, and other teams didn't. And yes, at that point, yes, it is unfair for the teams that didn't get to play it. But since everybody else is in an equal playing field, and this is going to be put in there for all the people to play, then I think it's very fair. Everybody's going to have the same amount of time to practice. Some of them are going to stay up longer than others to practice. Some of them are going to get more reps into practice. I disagree with my man Zinni on this one, and I hate to. Can we talk about the fact that this map was good because wall running was a thing? The verticality of it, like, how do you get barn. You're gonna have to go all the way around, or you're gonna have to climb through the window. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some adjustments to it to adjust for the lack of boosts. But if wall running is brought in, which won't be used in competitive, I fucking surely hope not.
Instead of their CDL branding, it has to be their actual non-city branding. Love it. Love this.
Well, first of all, they're doing it. First of all, that's what we did last year. But now what they're doing is
Luma.
it is a W on the surface, right? But behind this, I don't know. Isn't it bad for branding? In terms of what, Twiz? What's bad for branding? Using the original or using the secondary? For you guys, Twizini, for you guys, not so much Optic, but for others trying to build, I don't know, if Oxygen Esports, Boston Breach. Yeah. Again, it's one of those scenarios where this is the thing that it affects. Like the damage that this league has caused, not just to the esport, but to all of the ancillary things that made that esport, this esport, as great as it is. Like, we're suffering that like today, and we're seeing it because everything is just fucking up for grabs. We have a game. We have a tournament post champs like that. Need I go further? It's way past due that we get rid of city state shit. I don't know if it's way. Oh yeah, it is way past. Yo, I didn't know that Draza's wife was the one that was customizing his shoes. So now I guess I get why he like points at him and stuff. But she snaps on those things. She snaps. Speaking of which, I'm not done customizing the ones that I have to. Another one of the reasons why I didn't want to go live today. Another one of the reasons why I shouldn't have gone live today, but I decided to show up anyway because I am pushing all of like actual work and responsibilities. Let's look at this, okay? Major 4 will be Simp's 41st event. Let's take a look at some ridiculous number from fucking insane numbers from Simp, the pimp, walking with a limp. Average tournament placing 2.52, number 1 in COD history. He's the best placing dude in COD history. He's won 33% of all events. That's a third of all events competed in. Grand final, 68% of events. Insanity. 34-6 career record in first matches of a tournament. Only once in his career has he gone 2 tournaments in a row without a finals appearance. Major 3 through 4 in Modern Warfare 2. Wow. That's some godly shit right there. Why did we start using city? Why did we start using city? Well, because this is what happened, okay? Traditional sports owners were seeing what was happening in esports, and because it had sports in it, they said, okay, well, that's the future. Their kids were saying, pop, dad, uncle, grandpa, are you paying attention? The amount of viewership that's happening over here, less time is being spent on watching television, dad, grandpa, uncle, whatever. They're not watching sports on TV anymore. The kids are watching whatever's on this thing right here. Okay, that's what people are watching now. So you got to get in there. And they're like, okay, well, let's do the same thing that we did in traditional sports. We're going to base it around the city. That way, esports brands won't have as much of a difficulty to gain a fan base by localizing events, and you sort of build the fandom. Their loyalty to the city that they grew up in is going to build fandom. It made no sense.
Wow.
It made no sense, specifically and especially because we were saying, it's like, yo, that's not how fucking, you can't fool the youth. You cannot fool the youth that has grown up with the internet. You cannot fool them. You're not gonna just fucking say, hey, this fucking Frisco, the Frisco mountain valleys. That's who you support because you're from there. You can't fool the youth is what I kept fucking screaming at the top of my lungs. You know, not gonna lie, it worked to a degree. It doesn't work in the grand scheme of esports, but listen, it's just Greg. Hold on. This is because I'm Boston and it's my home team. Okay, let me reread this. It doesn't work in the grand scheme of esports, but I now somewhat support Boston Breach because I'm Boston and it's my home team. Yes, that is right. So it kind of worked with you. The majority of the people, and I don't want to point out, I don't want to go open up fucking people's social medias and all that shit, and I don't want to talk shit to no teams. But let's look at who throws events and who doesn't. From year one, City of State has now been so many changes on the team. ATL Face hasn't hosted an event yet. So much for local fan base, right? Yeah, well, they did host one. And you got to understand, man, you got to understand that some owners aren't hosting events for a very specific reason. And it is them saying, why the fuck would I go that much into a 50-50 partnership? You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck would we go and do 70% when the 50 isn't even met from the part? LAT is labeled LA, but they play out of Dallas. Again. The internet is the internet. It is the greatest thing. All the bad shit aside. If you know what should be happening nowadays, is that NFL teams, NBA teams, and all these other teams just drop their city name and they just call themselves the Warriors. They just call themselves the Mavericks. They just call themselves the Cowboys. Okay, and no longer the Dallas Cowboys, no longer the Dallas Mavericks, no longer the fucking no longer the Los Angeles. They're just the Lakers. No, just make it Dallas. You can't make it Dallas. We're talking about going away from. See, you're saying too far. Okay, but if I'm Jerry Jones and I own the Dallas Cowboys, and I know that if I drop the term Dallas and I can get more Cowboys, let's get a superstar fucking quarterback, a superstar quarterback that everybody fucks with. Okay, because he's just a cool dude and everybody fucks with him. But me, a person from Chicago, even though I am a quarterback person, I can't follow him because he's part of a different team. Now imagine if he was just the Cowboys. They have impacts on local economy. White bread, we're not saying remove them from the city. We're just saying drop it. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Supreme. I don't buy any Supreme that has New York written on it. So any pants that have Supreme New York, I don't buy it because I'm not from New York. It would lose its team heritage or create a new one in a new environment, in a place where the internet exists, where for 100 years it didn't.